Hey there guys, and welcome back to Sleeping Dogs. In the last episode we collected 8 of the 11 Jade Statues. The other 3 we were not able to collect right now because it's too early in the game and they require certain missions in order to collect them. So we have 8 of the 11 Jade Statues, and now we are just outside the martial arts school where you come to return the Jade Statues in place of powerful new martial arts combos that the teacher will teach you. So you get a new combo for each statue. So we are about to learn 8 different statues, or 8 different combos, because we have 8 statues. Now if you guys don't know how to get the Jade Statues on the map, I'll quickly explain. Early in the game, mission number 4, main storyline mission number 4, will be called Club Bam Bam. Once you have this mission on your map, you need to complete it right away. And upon completing it, you will get a girl named Tiffany's phone number in your phone. After the mission is completed, you need to pull out your phone and choose to call Tiffany. She will ask you to come back to Club Bam Bam and sing karaoke. So make your way back to Club Bam Bam, and then you need to sing karaoke, but you need to score a 90% or higher score for the karaoke song. Once you have scored 90% or higher, the mission or favor will be complete, and you will then be able to see the Jade Statues on your minimap. So if you want to check which ones you have and which ones you don't have, simply pull up the map by pressing select and press the X button to look at your collectibles. Similar to the health shrines that we have already collected. We got 50 of 50 health shrines and 8 out of 11 Jade Statues. Now the health shrines are represented by the kind of looks like a sandbox sort of icon on your map. Well, the Jade Statues are an idol icon, and you can check them by moving the cursor over top of them, and they will say melee upgrade. That indicates it is a Jade Statue. Now there are only 11 of them on the map in total, and 8 of them can be accessed really early in the game. The other 3 are going to take a little while to unlock. One of them will be able to unlock rather quickly by doing favors, and the final 2 won't be able to be accessed until towards the end of the game when the main storyline missions for each one are available. So we did the hunting down of 8 of them on the last episode. If you are struggling to find them, because they are kind of tricky to find, go ahead and check the previous episode of Sleeping Dogs. And I told you guys that whenever I turn them in at the melee school, I will show you guys which combos I am going to unlock, in case you guys are wondering. For those of you who haven't played the game and are wondering what combos are the best to pick early in the game, this video is for you. So whenever you're ready, head over to the martial arts school in North Point, and if you have Jade Statues to turn in, you'll see a green glowing light outside the door. Step into the light to return each statue, one at a time.
I found one of your statues.
Oh, the dog. Excellent. I must confess, I was surprised to see you back. I had hoped that you might have escaped Hong Kong. Escaped its influences. Its problem.
We took them with us when we left. So coming back didn't change it.
Are you ready to confront them now?
Yes, I think so.
What would you like to learn?
Okay, so this is the melee training. Each time you turn in a Jade Statue, you will be able to learn one of these skills. But here's the key. You can't jump ahead in skills, meaning that you have to learn the skill directly before each skill in order to proceed down the path. So right away you need to decide if you want to take the upper path or the lower path. Now you can see exactly which path leads to which abilities. So we're going to start off on, let's take a look. The bottom, since we already know the sweep kick, the bottom path will lead us to a tackle strike. Strike after tackling the enemy. It's always good to look at the skill beyond the first skill too. That way you'll know what you're going to get if you take a certain path. The second skill on the bottom path is leg break. Leg break grapple combo causes surrounding enemies to wince. Now this is a very useful skill, but let's look at the top before we make any decisions. So the first skill on top is the charge knee stun. You charge your knee. Your charge knee stuns opponents. The second skill on the top path is the stun strike follow-up. A follow-up strike on stunned opponents. So if you're wondering which path to take, I would highly recommend taking the top path. The charge knee stun is very helpful. It's XX and then you hold X, and it hits them with your knee. Now you already have that skill, but this makes it a automatic stun. As long as the enemy is not guarding, he will be stunned. And then you can learn this skill secondly, the stun strike follow-up. So once you stun him with your knee and you have this skill, you can kick the enemy while he's stunned to do massive damage. If you're looking for a combo that just outright destroys enemies, go with the top path. So the first skill I am going to be collecting on the melee training is the charge knee stun. After you've chosen which ability you want, you'll have the opportunity to test it out against the students of the martial arts school. So go ahead and practice it. As you can see, he is temporarily stunned, allowing you to continue your attack on him without him fighting back. Now you need to defeat the students before you can learn the next ability. Once you have taken out enough students, he will tell you to stop by again when you have found one of his statues. You'll then find yourself outside of the martial arts school. Here you will see the rewards you collected. The rewards we've gained is the charge knee stun combo. Now that we have that, let's head back inside to learn the next skill.
I found one of your statues.
The boar, an important part of the collection. I promised myself I wouldn't train members of the triads anymore. Not good for one's karma.
What makes you think I'm in the triads?
Don't lie to me. If there are things you can't reveal, don't. But never lie.
How do we talk about the things I can't reveal?
You don't need to. I knew you well once. Don't believe people change that much.
Right. Appreciate your faith.
What would you like to learn?
Alright, so the second melee training skill we're going to get, since we chose the top path and learned the charge knee stun, we're going to get the second skill on the top path, the stun strike follow-up. Now this comes right after your charge knee stun. So if you've got the charge knee stun, it's highly recommended to get the stun strike follow-up. Let me show you why. That's why. As you can see, the stun knee will stun the enemy. You can use the stun knee follow-up to kick the enemy while he's stunned, doing massive damage. Your ancestors called. This attack does a lot of damage, and it will more than likely knock out an enemy in one attack, depending on if you are wearing clothing with melee bonuses. If you're wearing clothing that has melee bonuses, it will take them out in one strike. If not, it might take 2 strikes.
Disciple of the never winning. Stop by again.
A very good demonstration of the charge knee stun follow-up. Now, in my opinion, that's one of my favorite combos in the game. It's very easy to learn, and it's very easy to perform when in a fight. Also, it does a considerable amount of damage. So that's one of my all-time favorite combos. The rewards gain is the Stun Strike follow-up. Now that we have that very powerful tool at our disposal, let's head back to return the third the third Jade statue.
I found one of your statues.
Ah, the dragon. Wonderful. I understand your sister passed.
She was an addict. She couldn't kick it. It's not a very interesting story.
I suppose. Though in light of that, your chosen career is rather interesting. To me anyway, knowing who you are.
You asked me once not to lie to you. And I think in return, you shouldn't ask me about my career.
Fair enough. What would you like to learn?
Alright, so now for our third melee training upgrade. You might be wondering if we should take the bottom path now. Well, let's take a look real quick. The third ability on the top path is the spinning heel kick. Spinning heel kick knocks down opponents. Now this is also a great ability to use. We already have this move, but it just does more damage and it knocks down the opponents. Now it depends on your fighting style if you want to take this. Me personally, I choose to do this always because I like pressing A 3 times and then I like pressing X 3 times and then holding X for a lot of damage. It's a very easy move to pull off, and it does a considerable amount of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this for my third melee upgrade. Quick demonstration.
Your new nickname.
You can now see the spinning heel knocks down opponents.
I learned my students were really bad. You know fighting. Your ancestors called. They like. Please stop by again.
As you can see, these new combos are really helping out on disposing your enemies. Not only do you have the stun knee and the stun knee follow-up, but now you have the spinning heel kick. This will allow you to perform multiple martial arts combos on any of your enemies. Also, this will help you out getting higher triad experience during missions, which is why I advise to get these Jade Statues and turn them in as early as possible. Now that we have the rewards gained spinning heel kick, it's time to turn in our fourth Jade Statue for our fourth melee upgrade.
I found one of your statues.
The snake. I am grateful. Did you enjoy your time in the States?
It was all right.
To have 2 homes is to have 2 souls. So they say.
What if you never feel at home anywhere?
Then I think you must guard your soul carefully, so as not to lose it. What would you like to learn?
The fourth melee training upgrade. You might be wondering, should I take the bottom path now, or should I keep going on the top path? Well, let's take a look. The fourth ability learned on the upper path of the melee training is the Jumping Power Roundhouse Kick. Jumping Roundhouse Kick has increased damage and power. Now this is a little tough to decide. The jumping power roundhouse kick requires you to press A 4 times and then hold A. Now this is a very slow combo, meaning that if you're surrounded by enemies, this wouldn't be the wisest choice to do. However, if you do manage to pull it off, it will do a massive amount of damage. So it all depends on your fighting style. If you're quick enough and you can pull off long combos like this, it's highly advised to get it. If you like pulling off brief combos like all the ones that we have learned before this, then I would recommend switching to the bottom path. I, however, have decided to go ahead and buy the jumping power roundhouse kick. Because I'm experienced at combat fighting in this game, it should be no problem in order to pull this move off. Now we already have this move, but purchasing this ability will increase the damage. As you can see, the jumping power roundhouse kick now does a considerable amount of damage. However, it's really hard to pull it off because it's such a long combo.
They like to disown you. Don't like fair. Live like judo.
So as you can see, the jumping power roundhouse kick now does a massive amount of damage, and it's excellent when fighting single opponents. However, if you're being swarmed by enemies, it's not very wise to choose it because it can be interrupted, and also you can be hit from behind while trying to perform such a long combo. However, it's a powerful tool nonetheless. So that takes care of the next Jade statue, and the rewards gained is the jumping power roundhouse kick combo. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and head back in order to receive the next melee training upgrade.
Tiger. Ah, the tiger. Ever think about going back to the States?
It didn't work the first time. Why would it again? The past goes with you wherever you go.
So you will confront the past rather than run from it.
Damn straight.
I wonder, is the past something we can defeat? Or is it something we simply come to terms with? What would you like to learn?
Alright, so now is when I would recommend starting to take the bottom path. Because if you look, the final skill on the, or the second to last skill on the top is the double jump kick. Now if you like running at enemies and then kicking them, I would go ahead and buy this. However, when confronted with multiple enemies, you really don't have the time to run and then kick. However, if you like surprising your enemies and running up on them and getting a good start, then you can go ahead and buy this skill. However, the bottom path gives you very strong grappling techniques, such as the tackle strike, the leg break, which is extremely effective, the disarm tackle, stun grapple follow-up, and arm break. So let's go ahead and learn the first skill on the bottom of the list, the tackle strike. Strike after tackling the enemy. Again, this is not one of my preferred skills, but in order to get further down the line, you have to buy it.
I yearn for the days when my students were merely fed. Have you no pride, Ming?
There's a demonstration of the tackle strike.
Your ancestors called. They like to disown you. Strong like bear. Now, ancient master of disgrace. But you might want to pretend you graceful.
So as you can see, the stun knee follow-up is a very quick attack that you can pull off even when surrounded by a bunch of enemies. That is highly why I advise to get that skill first.
Stop by again to find one of my friends.
So that takes care of the tackle strike combo. The rewards for turning in that Jade Statue is the tackle strike. Now we're getting low on Jade Statues to turn in, so let's quickly finish this up.
I found one of your statues.
Rabbit, welcome addition. How you doing?
I'm fine.
The past, your past.
That's one of those questions you shouldn't ask.
Is it? I guess those are the rules. But someone should ask it, even if you ask it of yourself.
What are you, a Zen master now?
Of course. Didn't you know? What would you like to learn?
Alright, your next melee training should be to follow the bottom path now. This is a very useful skill, the leg break. Leg break grapple combo causes surrounding enemies to wince. What wince means is they cower in front of you, meaning that you can use that to your advantage because they temporarily won't strike you because they're scared. You just broke someone's leg. So this can be done by pressing B to grapple, X for a quick strike, and then hold X for the leg break. Let me demonstrate. As you can see, the leg break will leave the enemy stunned, allowing you to temporarily attack them. Also, if you're surrounded by enemies, they will back off because they are frightened, making this an excellent skill to have.
Your ancestors called. They like to disown you. Strong like bear.
So as you can see, our martial arts combos are coming along very nicely. We now have several different tools available to use in a fight, way more than what we had at the start of the game. This is why Jade Statues are very useful to turn in. The rewards for turning in this Jade Statue is the leg break combo. 2 more statues to turn in. So let's go ahead and turn them in while we're here.
I found one of your statues.
The rooster. Good, good. Thank you for the statue. Seems as though they're all finding their way back to me. Perhaps that was their destiny from the start.
What does that make me?
Oh, I have no doubt you'll return to Hong Kong will affect many destinies, not least your own.
Yeah?
Surely, that's why you came in the first place.
Maybe I just wanted to move back.
Maybe. Or maybe I decided to break my own rule and train a known triad for no reason whatsoever. But I think we both know differently. What would you like to learn?
The next melee training we need to think about thoroughly here. We can continue down the bottom path, or we can learn the second to last ability on the top path. Let's look at the further down the line abilities of the bottom path. We can learn the Disarm Tackle. Disarm the enemy after tackling them from a sprint. Learning this will give us access to the following attack, the Stun Grapple follow-up. Now the Stun Grapple follow-up can be extremely useful on some enemies whenever you have to grapple them in order to win. So a Stun Grapple follow-up is a follow-up strike on stunned opponents, and it is done by holding the B button. So I think I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the bottom path. So we're going to go ahead and use the Disarm Tackle. Now, tackling enemies will disarm them. This is an excellent way I gotta get out of this corner. I gotta drop this weapon.
Shame at your performance grows by the minute. How can Wei learn when you provide such a weak opposition? Answers are surely laughing at my failure to...
There we go.
You have fought with such...
Now that we have disarmed a few opponents,
Have you been drinking? Ugly! Frightened me. I can see you struggling with the weight of your stand. There's so little but skill. Please, stop by again if you find one of my statues.
so the Disarm Tackle is extremely useful, especially when you're going against multiple enemies that have melee weapons, because that is a quick way to disarm them so that you can pick the weapon up and use it yourself. For returning this Jade Statue, the rewards gained is the Disarm Tackle. For the final Jade Statue that we have, let's go ahead and return it to learn our final melee ability at this point.
Good. What did you do in the States?
What makes you think I did anything different than what I'm doing now?
You have the feel of a man wearing another man's skin. It fits very well, and yet, if one knows a man underneath, he clearly isn't right. What would you like to learn?
Okay, so for our last point that we can spend on melee training for now, we're going to go ahead and spend it on the bottom path again. This will level everything out. We are at the same part on the top path as we are at the bottom. So we're going to be learning the Stun Grapple follow-up. A follow-up strike on stunned opponents. Hold B. Now this is very useful if you're fighting multiple enemies, because it gives you an advantage on opponents that are stunned. So to do this, you simply have to hold B.
You have studied Wushu master of defeat.
So when the opponent is stunned, holding B will do a devastating 3-piece for a good amount of damage. Also, you can use your knees as well with this attack.
Only abstinence will cure you. And in your case, that might not be enough to protect. Please, stop by again if you find one of my statues.
Alright, so our reward for turning in the 8th Jade statue and the final statue that we have left at this point, we get the rewards Stun, Grapple, Follow Up. Now that we have our martial arts abilities upgraded, we now have, because we got all the health shrines, maximum HP, or maximum health. Also, for returning 8 of the 11 Jade statues, we have a significantly new amount of combos, meaning that we are really upgraded considering it's this early in the game. So this will give us a huge advantage for melee fighting. So I hope this episode was helpful for you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode where we decide on what to do next.